Have you ever walked into a familiar house and left with a heavy heart? Maybe it was the home of an old friend, a relative, or even someone who used to be your rock for years. But after that visit, you didn't feel tired because of your age. You felt tired because you realized you were no longer valued like before. As we enter our twilight years, all of us crave more connection. We have the time, the freedom, so it's easy to think, why not stop by, catch up a little? But have you ever considered this? There are people, places, that the more you revisit, the more you quietly hurt yourself. Do you ever find yourself asking, why do I always feel disrespected when I go there? They hurt me before, but maybe they've changed? Or even, am I just being too sensitive? No, you're not too sensitive. You're aware. Because there's one truth many seniors forget. Not everyone deserves to stay in your life, no matter how many memories you shared. I've seen too many elders, once the pillar of their family, walk out of meetings with loved ones feeling dismissed and disappointed. Have you ever felt that way? If yes, then this video is for you. I'm going to share 4 types of people whose homes you should absolutely avoid visiting, no matter how much free time you have. Not because you're selfish, but because you deserve peace. Stay with us until the end of the video to make wiser choices for your golden years. And if this message resonates with you, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss future content. Now let's begin. 1. Never visit the home of someone who once betrayed you, not even once. Some handshakes may seem warm, but they only pull you back to the place where you once fell. As we grow older, we tend to become softer, believing time can erase old wounds. But in reality, some people, no matter how many years have passed, never truly change, especially those who once betrayed you. And stepping into their home is like erasing one of the most painful lessons of your life. I used to think that as I aged, forgiveness was simply part of life, that everyone changes, that eventually people feel remorse. That is, until one day I visited an old friend named Harold, someone I used to treat like a brother. We ran a business together in our youth, weathered many storms side by side. But it was Harold who caused me to lose a large sum of money by secretly redirecting our investment without telling me. After that, I cut off contact. But more than 15 years later, Harold called me. His voice was soft, a little frail. I'm getting old. I just want to reconnect and reminisce about old times. I gave in. I thought, why not visit him once? I'm not angry anymore, but you know what? Within just 20 minutes in that house, I felt like I was back in that moment of betrayal. Harold's tone was still condescending. When I talked about my grandchildren, he made sarcastic remarks like, well, good thing they didn't turn out like their dad. I sat there, forcing a smile while my heart sank. When I walked out of that house, I didn't feel at peace. I felt insulted all over again. This time, not with money, but with words. That's when I realized forgiveness doesn't mean returning. When someone has deliberately hurt you, financially, emotionally, or with your dignity, stepping back into their world, even for one afternoon, gives them the chance to do it again. We can be forgiving, but we must also protect ourselves. And sometimes the best protection is to quietly walk away for good. Have you ever found yourself in a similar situation? If yes, leave a comment below. You're not alone. Many people have been through the same thing and changed their lives once they saw it clearly. 2. Avoid the homes of people who live in constant negativity. Have you ever wondered why you enter someone's house feeling upbeat and walk out with your spirit dragging on the ground? You can't quite explain it. You just suddenly feel drained and unmotivated. That's because you've just been in the company of someone consumed by negative thoughts. Someone who has turned complaining into a lifestyle, and they're quietly pulling you down into their emotional pit. I have a cousin named Linda, a few years older than me. All her life, she's complained about everything. A bad husband, ungrateful children, tough times, an unfair society. Not a day goes by without her bringing up something sad or frustrating. When I retired, I had more free time. I thought, maybe I'll drop by and visit Linda. It's been a while, and so I did. Many times. At first, I just felt tired. But after a few visits, I noticed a change in myself. I used to be a positive person. I loved gardening, reading, going on Saturday morning walks with a local group. But after visiting Linda's house, I felt discouraged. Listening to her talk about how life is unfair, how people are bad, and how there's nothing to look forward to at our age, made me start to wonder, am I being naive for trying to stay hopeful? Have you ever met someone like that? They don't harm you intentionally, but their negativity slowly drains the energy from your soul. They don't celebrate your health or your family's success. Instead, they say things like, "The doctor told you to take that? Are you sure it's safe? Your son's doing great. Well, these days, being smart doesn't guarantee anything." At first, it sounds like concern, but over time, you start doubting even the best things in your life. It took me nearly 6 months to shake off the negativity after those visits. Now, I still care about Linda, but I no longer go to her house. Instead, I call occasionally to check in, keeping a safe emotional distance to protect my mind and spirit. Because I've learned this, our minds become more fragile as we age, and if we're not careful, we'll get swallowed by other people's emotional storms. 3. Don't visit the home of someone who refuses to acknowledge your growth. There's nothing more discouraging than trying your best to grow, only to be trapped in someone else's outdated image of who you used to be. They bring up your past mistakes, things you've already overcome, as if you haven't changed at all. And if you're not careful, you'll start to believe them, that you're still not good enough, still the same failure from years ago. I had an old friend named Charlie. We were close, went to high school together, then worked at the same factory for decades. After I retired, he often invited me over to play dominoes, sip tea, and talk about the old days. But each time we met, I noticed something. He couldn't stop bringing up my past slip-ups. Remember when the boss chewed you out in front of everyone? If you'd kept drinking like you did back then, you'd be in a ditch now. I'd laugh it off at first, but eventually, it got to me. I'm not that impulsive, hot-headed young man anymore. I've worked hard to become calmer, more balanced, healthier in every way. But to Charlie, I was always going to be that guy from back then. Have you ever known someone like that? They don't mean harm, but they lock you into a version of yourself you fought hard to grow out of. And the sad part is, if you're not careful, you'll begin to believe it, that you haven't improved, that you're still broken. So I want to ask you, Is there someone in your life who still treats you like you haven't changed? Have you ever hesitated to grow because you were afraid they wouldn't accept it? If so, don't be afraid to share in the comments. I read every word because I know how painful it is to be misunderstood and imprisoned by your past. You deserve to be seen for the person you are now, not who you were. And anyone who refuses to see your growth might not deserve a seat at your table anymore. 4. Stay away from those who secretly resent your progress. You share your joy, they smile politely, but inside, they're dimming your light. They won't criticize you openly. Instead, they'll use caring advice to plant doubt, to make you feel guilty for simply doing better than them. And if you let them pull you down, your success might not feel like success at all. Once, I shared with a longtime friend that I had completed an online meditation course. I was excited because it helped me sleep better and feel more mentally clear. But instead of being happy for me, he scoffed. At your age? Still trying to learn things? Just relax already. That sentence seemed harmless, but it stayed with me all night. Why would someone who calls himself a friend make me feel guilty for trying to live better? Then it hit me. Not everyone is ready to watch you evolve, especially when they're stuck in the same place. Some people won't fight you out loud, but they'll quietly envy you, and that envy seeps out in subtle ways. Why try so hard now? You sure that's actually helping? Eventually, it chips away at your confidence. You start questioning, am I being unrealistic? Am I too old to change? But let me tell you, that's exactly when you need to be strongest. Have you ever shared a small win only to feel deflated after? Are you letting someone hold you back because they're afraid of being left behind? If so, leave a comment. You're not alone. Many of us face this quietly, without realizing it's happening. And here's what I've learned. Those who truly care about you won't feel threatened by your progress. They'll cheer for you and grow with you. Final thoughts. When you close a door, you open peace. There's something I've learned after more than 70 years of living. Peace doesn't come from having many relationships. It comes from knowing which ones to keep and which ones to let go. In youth, we endure, we tolerate, we sacrifice because we're afraid of letting go, of being misunderstood. But in our later years, what matters most isn't money or reputation. It's health, tranquility, and the ability to live the rest of our days without more pain. To achieve that, you must learn to say no to the places and people that once broke you. Don't return to homes where your worth was ignored. Don't sit with those who drown every conversation in complaints. Don't smile for people who only see your failures. And don't bow to the silent jealousy of someone who once called you friend. You have the right to choose peace. You're not selfish for putting your emotional safety above a toxic relationship. You're simply protecting yourself in the most mature, courageous way. If this video touched something deep within you, let me know in the comments. What door do you need to close to feel lighter? Have you ever visited someone only to come home with a bruised heart? I read every comment, and I believe many others just like you are out there searching for peace and don't know where to begin. If you found this message helpful, please hit like and share it with someone who might need to hear these words. Sometimes, one sentence at the right time can change someone's final chapter. And don't forget to subscribe to the Healthy Wisdom channel so we can continue this journey of healing, growth, and joy together. See you in the next video.